You don't have to detach from loving your specific person, your mirror soul. You do not have to detach from being together. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In case you're new here, my name is Kim. This is Core Union. Something got brought up yesterday with one of my clients when we had our session. He's manifesting his mirror soul back. There were actually a couple things that he said that I think are going to be helpful for me to bring up with you guys how I responded to him and how to see what is it exactly that happens when he's doing the inner work, what's happening with his mirror soul. So I'm going to talk about that. And that also reminded me of something with another client who had manifested her mirror soul back into her life, regardless of the circumstances and the story that she had. When she looked at the story and she changed her story about herself and her person, he was like showing up nonstop in her life. And it was actually almost to a comical degree. And there's also one more thing that I want to talk about that's related to my client yesterday and my other client, who I'm going to tell the story of, that manifested her SP back, with just seeing it's not it's not your SP specifically. You're changing yourself, and the entire world, you are shifting into what appears to be the exact same reality for you. It appears to be the same, but it's not the same, because our reality is always conforming to us. So if you guys could really get this, it would make such a huge impact in your personal empowerment and understanding that you can safely release and let go of the past, because currently some of you guys are still putting conditions on the past. It's like an if then situation, and everything is unconditional, neutral, until you sign a meaning to it. So if they said this and that, then this can't happen. For example, if I did this and that, then they're not going to forgive me, or they're not going to trust me. All of those things. And there are so many umpteen different collectives of different circumstances. None of it matters. None of it matters. It's all of the circumstances were just a manifestation of who you were back then. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to talk about this. If you love me, please do like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. It helps my channel grow, and I appreciate you for that. If you want me to be your coach to help you shift and change anything related to your specific person or anything else, it always end up being more also around health and finances, because you're transforming yourself. You're being the best version of yourself. You're recognizing that your entire reality is your consciousness, and everyone in your reality is your divine messenger, just showing you who you actually truly are. So anyway, email a short description to me at kim@coreunion.com if you want me to help you. Go to the website, coreunion.com. My scheduling assistant, Olga, will get back to you. Okay. So yesterday, my client asked this questions, or the way he posed it was something along the lines of, what is it exactly that happens when I'm doing my inner work to send that out to my person for her to end up changing her mind and wanting her to come back? You change within, you go inward. Your reality will confirm the change. You're not changing your person. So it's not that thoughts are going from your person, from yourself to your person. It's happening within you. And the moment it happens within you, it happens within her. If you are waking up and remembering who you are, remembering that you're the light having a human experience, that your physical being is the character, and you get to decide and choose and change the character however you want to. So who am I? So you go in deeply, tap into your power as being the operant power, tap into obviously God, universe, source, infinite intelligence, giving thanks, being grateful, affirm how much you love yourself, really hone in on the wonderful qualities, right, within yourself. You're choosing yourself. You're loving yourself. You're seeing yourself from God's eyes. You are choosing that you were the one that was created to love your person. You know that it's done. You know that you guys chose each other before you guys even met. So you know you're the one already. When you know you're the one already, and you're choosing yourself and you're loving yourself and you're prioritizing love for yourself, and you're in your power and you're stable, secure, and you've let go of the past, you've forgiven yourself, you've forgiven your person. When you're doing this, then you're selecting a version of reality where your person is your perfect divine counterpart and you guys are always in sync. So the moment that you're making this change, it's not that it's like you make the change and then it sends out, and maybe if you did it just right, then it'll hit them. It's that when you make the change, they make it's simultaneous. It's at the exact same time. It's instant. So when you're choosing yourself and loving yourself and deeply caring about yourself and cherishing who you are and you're proud of yourself, and you know that you're the one, then all of those same exact things are going to be happening within your person. That's what makes that's what's happening. It's not like you're here and they're somewhere out there. You're still thinking in terms of separation. Separation is the grand illusion. Okay, so now the other client that I wanted to talk about really quickly is she was manifesting her mirror soul back, and she said that she had a story around him because he was, I think she called him a player. She believed he was a player. She didn't actually have any hard evidence of any reason why she should believe that, except that he was extremely good looking. So he was very handsome. He was very well put together and he was established. He made a lot of money and he traveled a lot. So from her perspective, her story was a man like this couldn't be faithful or true because when she would go out with him and stuff, she saw how women would look at him. So this was her story. She projected onto him. Okay. There was also a story from childhood around men being kind of, there was a disrespectful element happening. She owned a business where there were a lot of men all the time. And these men would always flirt with her and say really sexually derogatory things to her. And she was frustrated with it. So, anyway, we started doing the inner work. One of the things that I said in terms of the men in her life, I gave her some inner work to do. And one of the visuals I wanted her to do, along with the affirmations that I gave her, was I want you to imagine when you walk in a room, when you walk in a grocery store, when you walk in your place of business, when you're walking down the street, men literally clear their throat and stand taller in your presence, that they open doors for you. This is what I want you to imagine, along with the affirmations that I gave her. And then that was the visual imaginary scene I invited her to do. Soon after doing that, all of the men in her business, out of nowhere, without her doing anything, started opening doors for her, started clearing their throats. She said it was almost comical when she would walk in where they would normally be like hitting on her and saying things that were really disrespectful. Out of nowhere, they were gentlemen, they were respectful, they were chivalrous. Okay. The other thing that was happening with her mirror soul was every time she went out, her mirror soul somehow would end up coming into wherever she was. So if she went out to a restaurant with a friend, her mirror soul would walk in. If she went to a bar or a nightclub, the mirror soul would walk in. Even she was at a beach in California, just laying down, enjoying, the sun and the weather. And she said it was a nice cool breeze. And there he is right in front of her. And he says, "Hey, how are you doing?" And she's like, "Good. How are you?" And he sits down and he talks to her. And then he says, "How about we go grab a drink and maybe later we can go get some ice cream and take a walk around?" Every time he would come in and then they would talk and they would start communicating and then they would start spending time together, she would get evidence. In other words, she's in the unfolding. She would always end up, when she would reach out to him, she would end up getting silence because she was honest with herself. She was feeling this fear still of protecting herself, that she wasn't in good hands with him, that he wasn't safe. Only because, not because it had anything to do with him, simply because of the story that she projected onto him. So basically, I helped her in seeing herself, seeing men, and seeing him in particular, differently, to allow herself to know that love is safe. Men are consistent and reliable. The men in her life are divine masculine men. They are strong men. They are confident. They're secure. They're loving. They're consistent, they're reliable, they're dependable. All of the men in her reality, especially him. Okay. And so that really helped her. So, anyway, no matter where you're at right now in your manifestation journey, no matter who you're trying to manifest back into your life, no matter whether it's romantic or any other manifestation, whether you want to manifest better health, better security, better clients, better business transactions, no matter what it is, you have to start recognizing that the whatever is happening in your life, it's showing you what you believe, but that's all that it is. And I know that it can be painful and hard, but stop believing so much in the reflection. When you do your inner work, you're doing it from the identity of having whatever it is that you want to manifest. So you're doing the inner work from being the wife or the husband in a happy, loving relationship. You're doing the inner work from that identity. And then anything that you're inspired to do throughout the day, when you're doing the inner work consistently, anything and everything that you just are inspired to do, you're being guided. You're automatically being guided. But you want to surrender to this, because when you're trying to control everything, then it's like you're shutting off your guidance system. You're not letting God handle everything. And God has a much better way of doing it. Hand over when you're I think one of the things that happens with people that you're not doing is you're not knowing when to surrender and detach. You don't have to detach from loving your specific person, your mirror soul. You do not have to detach from being together. You do need to detach from your old stories. That includes the circumstances, what was said and done. Detach, which means surrender. Hand that over to God, universe, source, divine intelligence, the God within, the God without. Please affirm down below that you've received this message with prayer hands and a heart and anything else that you want to say, but please make it a powerful, powerful statement of confirmation and affirm your power in the comments below. And I will delete any other comments because today I just want the comment section to be full of power, not lack. Okay. I love you so much. Have an amazing day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.
Nothing can come, nothing can come, nothing can come between us.